it's going to be Mike Hughes is now playing 55% of the snaps because that's how many times the Vikings are in the nickel defense. But I do think he's going to be a guy that they can use quite a bit in their nickel defense.
Kicker and specialty players. Do we know who those people are going to be yet?
Well, I still think unless Daniel Carlson absolutely screws it up in training camp, that he's going to be the kicker. The more interesting storyline to me is who's going to be the return men. I think Hughes has a great shot to be the kick returner. And, I mean, how many years has it been when we talked about Marcus Sherrills? And is this the year that he finally doesn't make it? Probably not quite ready to pull him out of that. He signed a very reasonable deal, team friendly. So I think his reliability as a punt returner is going to be, they're going to press on him for that. It's going to take Mike Hughes to really gain confidence in his ability to track the ball, catch it, make the catch every single time. I think he's got more explosive ability than Marcus Sherrills. But as a punt returner, so much of it is, how much can you do between 6 and 10 yards? Can you just get us 10 yards on the punt return? If you can do that, like Sherrills has been able to do, and you're reliable, that's more valuable than having a guy that maybe once a season is going to pop one for 50 yards, but you're always worried, is he going to fumble or is he going to make the wrong decision when the ball's in the air?
So we knew Randy Moss. We covered Randy Moss, and Randy at any given time might walk by the media room, stick his head in, and say something that we can't repeat even on a podcast because we have relatives. We just can't use those words. And now Randy Moss is going into the Hall of Fame with Terrell Owens, and Randy Moss looks like a saint.
Yeah, it's
not a New Orleans saint, no. A saint.
Yes, it's incredible. I mean, T.O., I think he's screwed this up.
He has. He screws up everything,
and he doesn't. I don't think he really cares either that he screwed it up.
I think he wants attention, and you get even more attention being an idiot in this situation than you do being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee Chattanooga is where he's going to hold his speech to be inducted into the Hall of Fame? I mean, how many people are really going to show up for that? He's going to have relatives and a few hundred people? I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, and the interesting thing is, it sounds like the kind of thing that media outlets would have to cover, and maybe ESPN or somebody like that does it. But Philly papers aren't going to want to send somebody to that. San Francisco paper isn't going to want to send somebody to that. You don't think so? I bet they do.
I don't know. But my point is, because of the way he behaved, nobody really thinks of him as their guy.
Well, that's true, and
listen, he got. I am pro Terrell Owens football player. I'm not obviously I'm not pro Terrell Owens human being or drama queen, but you think he got the Eagles to a Super Bowl, and Philadelphia doesn't really want to claim him. So in a day and age where people are watching their travel budgets, is a Philadelphia paper really going to send a reporter to go listen to Terrell Owens talk in a field someplace? Well,
and the other thing is, if they do they get anything more than his Hall of Fame speech?
Exactly.
Does he take the 5 or 10 minutes it would take to just sit down and talk with the reporter?
And maybe they do. I'm just saying that if I were a sports editor, I would really question how much I'm going to get out of that trip.
Yeah, and I would maybe want to know. I would want to have some assurances. Yeah, we'll sit down with you after the speech or whatever. But yeah, he looks like an idiot, and all of a sudden Moss, here's a guy that obviously went through some troubled times when he was with the Vikings and other organizations. And now he's the one that's mentoring Jameis Winston on, you screwed up. Here's how to go and try to own it. Honestly,
Randy Moss's advice is great, too. If you're having trouble with a woman, do not sexually assault her. Just bump her with your car.
Well, that option would be better.
Well, everything being relative, yes, it actually is better.
As much as I had a problem with Moss and the way he treated
everyone,
pretty much during his time here, I kind of have gotten the feeling that he's matured some.
I agree.
He understands things a little bit better on how to handle people. He's probably not quite as bitter at the rest of the human race as he was when he was here. So having gone through all those troubles, I think there is a value in him talking to Jameis.
Oh, I agree. And the other thing is that he wanted to hate a certain number of people, and he played for a head coach in Denny who wanted him to hate a certain number of people, and he did have a very tough upbringing. He had reason to be suspicious of people, and that all coalesced in Minnesota with him, he could be a good guy when he wanted to be, but he chose quite often to not be a great guy. But I never sensed that he was evil. I sensed that he was angry and maybe even had good reason for that but didn't handle the anger very well. Terrell Owens is just being an idiot.
Yeah, he's just making goofy decisions.
Yes.
The times that you would be able to talk to Randy Moss, he was fascinating to talk to.
Well, it's because he's a very smart player, has great I think he has great intuition about people. I think he's very shrewd. And so when he wanted to talk, he was always fantastic. And he also had the greatest attribute of anybody you ever want to interview. He wasn't afraid to say what he actually thought.
Absolutely. Yeah, he would give you information that sometimes would surprise you and thrill you to know it. I mean, you felt like you were smarter after talking to him, whether he kind of gave a bombshell or whether he was just educating you about what's going on. So...
And then there was the time that Kent Youngblood walked up to Randy Moss and said, "Hey, Randy, I'm not going to try to do a Kent Youngblood impersonation because he'd kill me." But he went up and said, "Hey, Randy, can I ask you a question about that play you made the other day?" And Moss looked at him and said, "None ya." And Youngblood, of course, fell right and said, what do you mean, none of you? He said, none of your damn business. And that was the end of the interview.
Who was the one that asked him how he's going to pay the bill?
That was actually, I want to say it was Jerry Zgoda, because Kevin Seifert was covering the beat. I was helping out, and I was kind of writing features at that point in my career. So I was around the Vikings, but I wasn't there every day. And back then, before they really put in all the security, one of the ways you got players, because they would hide during the lunchtime interview access, was you would wait in the parking lot for them to walk by so you could actually have a chance to ask them a question.
Yep.
So Kevin Seifert had been doing that, trying to get Randy Moss to talk to him like every day for 3 years, and Randy blew him off every time. None yet. And Jerry Zgoda comes out one day just because we needed a body out there, and he walks out to the parking lot and he goes, "Hey, Randy, how are you going to pay that fine?" And Randy just gave him the great line.
And
straight cash, homie.
I know. But the question seems so strange to me. Like,
yes.
I mean, I don't know what would spur you to ask that question. Like, how are you going to pay for it? But it resulted in such
just great.
famous line.
It's one of the weirdest things about journalism, too, and especially sports journalism, is you can craft the perfect question and you ask it, and the subject goes, no comment, or they'll say, we take it one game at a time. You can think of the perfect question and you can get the worst possible answer. And and we know many people in this market will ask the dumbest possible question, completely ill-conceived, showing no knowledge of the subject, and they'll get a great answer because the interviewee feels like they have to explain it to this idiot who just asked that question.
Yeah, and some of them are so rambling where they start out with a question.
Leave Jim Rich alone.
And it goes three different directions. And I think the subject is so confused.
Yeah,
they just start talking about whatever.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you get this great answer.
Oh, man. Next week we're going to ask, would you rather have Diggs or Thielen? We're going to talk about national outlets picking the Vikings and the Packers in the NFC North and talking about this being one of the best divisions for quarterbacks. We're going to talk about Case Keenum, Adam Thielen, Aaron Rodgers, where they rank in golf at the Lake Tahoe tournament. Actually, should we get to that one this week? That's a little more timely. We're going to save the other ones for another show. But Case Keenum beat Adam Thielen. He should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah, and round one so far, I mean, round two is today, so we don't know how this is going to do. But Keenum shot a 74 out at the Lake Tahoe. Aaron Rodgers, Adam Thielen both shot 76s. Your guy, bull riding Jared Allen, shot... Unfortunately, I think it was in the 90s. 86. Actually, not bad.
That's not bad.
Probably for that course. And another one of your guys, Sir Charles Barkley. Have you looked at it yet? Do you know what he shot?
No.
Take a guess.
112.
Ooh, you're close. 107.
Wow.
But he's in last. Al Michaels isn't far behind him.
So, seriously, there are people who should not play golf. And some of them are my family, and I might be one of the people in my family who shouldn't play golf
too, but I keep playing it.
But bad golf is one thing. but you have to be able to get around the course.
Yeah.
You have to just it as a golf instructor I know says, if you're not hitting the ball forward and airborne, then maybe go bowl.
Yeah.
Do something different.
Barkley's wildly entertaining to watch play golf.
It's awesome. Well, it's awesome unless you're in his group and you have to spend 6 hours watching that swing. We're going to get a final thought here from Tim Yoder of the VikingUpdate.com organization and the Viking Update show. I do want to again tell you about our new sponsor, SeatGeek. Again, I have the SeatGeek app on my phone. Easiest way I found to shop for tickets. I can be anywhere, just a few taps. I can instantly find seats. So check it out. It is the easiest way to find seats. I recommend it for sports tickets, for theater tickets, whatever you want. And if you download the SeatGeek app and enter the promo code Vikings, all caps Vikings, that's promo code Vikings, you'll get $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. I am doing that myself as soon as we get off the show because, again, my wife wants theater tickets. Thanks to Twill in the Edina Galleria. Thanks to Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent, not only in Champlin, I always just say State Farm agent in Champlin, but at 11351. Did I get it right? I'm memorizing this stuff. 11351 Aquila. I'm getting it all right now. Drive in Champlin, Minnesota. Google Tony Hoagland, Hoaglund. And thanks to everybody who listens. Thanks for our sponsors. And now we're going to get a final thought from Tim now that I'm done rambling.
Well, I mean, just to follow up your SeatGeek thing, here's couple things that surprised me. Vikings still have tickets left to training camp. Not a lot, but they have some, which is a bit surprising to me considering they've been, up for sale for probably 3 weeks now, and I figured they would have kind of sold out, and some of them are still free. But they have roughly 20,000 tickets left there.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Should I be shocked? Are people just not thinking about it yet?
I think that's part of it. I mean, my understanding is, they feel like once training camp starts, there'll be this ramp up and it'll be in there.
It probably will.
Yeah. But also, I believe it's this week, maybe Tuesday, that single game tickets go on sale too. And they are required to hold back a certain number from season ticket holders. So basically, you're not going to fill up U.S. Bank Stadium with all season ticket holders. It was part of the stadium deal. So 6,000 single game tickets, 6,000 per game of single game tickets go up for sale if anybody's interested in those.
Awesome. Thanks to everybody who listens. Email me if you'd like to sponsor the programs. Thanks to Twill, Tony Hoagland, and SeatGeek. And we will talk to you again next week with some very intriguing topics, including Diggs versus Thielen.